Happy Hoodoo Heritage Month. The month of October is Hoodoo Heritage Month. So in honor of Hoodoo Heritage Month and being that it is the first of the month, let's talk about some good hoodoo root work practices you could use to manifest abundance. Of course, we got to start out with the good old cinnamon trick. Cinnamon is a spice that has been used to manifest abundance and represented abundance forever. Now, a lot of people have talked about the cinnamon trick, but let me teach you how to enhance it a little bit. Before you blow the cinnamon in your front door, what you want to do is you want to make sure you clean your house from top to bottom, corner to corner. You then want to go around and sprinkle a little sea salt in each corner of your home. Go open all your windows, and then I want you to smudge your home. You can smudge your home with any type of herb you use to cleanse your home. You can use basil, you can use rosemary, you can use sage, whatever you feel comfortable with and have access to. Then I want you to sweep up all that salt to the center of the room and then sweep it out the door. And the intention of this is to remove any negative energy that may come into your home or that may have been residing in your home. If you don't have the time or energy to do any of this, you could just take some sea salt in your hand. You want to walk around your entire home from corner to corner with that sea salt in your left hand and say, anything that is in this home that is not of my wellness be removed. And then you take it to the front door and you blow it out of your hand. And then you need to go cleanse yourself, okay? You need to cleanse your energy. So again, smudge yourself down or something. Then put some cinnamon in your right hand. Speak life into it. Speak love into it. Speak abundance into it. And then blow it inside of your home. So you'll step outside the door, speak life into that cinnamon, speak love into that cinnamon, and blow it inside of your home. So the salt goes out, the cinnamon goes in. For some bonus protection, you can go around each corner of your home and sprinkle a little bit of salt, put some coins, and you can add a cinnamon stick to each corner of your home. Just a little pinch. Just a little pinch. You don't need much or nothing. You ain't trying to season meat in the corners. You just need a little pinch. Another thing you can do is write down your intention and your desires for this time. What are you desiring to manifest? What do you want? What is your purpose? What energy are you trying to attract? And then you put that under a white candle and you light the candle and let it burn. Now, put the candle out if you feel unsafe, but if you don't, it's just best if you just let it go until it goes out. So that's some smudging tips, some herb tips with the cinnamon and the salt and stuff, and some candle magic. But of course, we can't leave the ancestor veneration out. So in honor of your ancestors, make you a little offering basket with some fruit, some flowers, and something sacred, a little sacrifice. And leave that at a base of a tree near your home. Now, this is not littering because everything that you're leaving is recyclable and can be consumed by the earth. So leave the fruit and the flowers at the base of a tree near your home. That's in honor of your ancestors. And if you know Hoodoo has some Christianity in it as well. So say Psalms 91 every day too. Peace and wellness and happy Hoodoo Heritage Month, family. So yesterday I put up a video opening up Hoodoo Heritage Month with a few cleansing and abundance rituals that you can do to set your tone for the month, right? And manifest wellness and abundance. I got a lot of questions from that video, so I'm going to answer some of those questions in this video. Now, the first question I'll answer is it too late to do your abundance rituals, your manifestation rituals for the first of the month? And ironically, no. Of course, ideally, we would love to do it on the first of the month. However, I would advise doing it at least the first 3 days of the month and at the very latest, the first week of the month. The intention of first of the month rituals is to set your tone for the month, very similar to how we would utilize the new moon, right? Where you set your intentions for the energy that you want to manifest and attract during that moon cycle. That's the same thing you're doing for the first of the month. So if you can't do it the first day, at least the first 3 days, and at the very latest, the first week of the month, right? Now, the second question I got is, are there substitutions for the herbs like cinnamon and instead of using salt, can they use something else? Absolutely. There's a variety of different herbs and fruits and all kinds of things that you can use to manifest abundance. And there are other herbs and things you can use to dispel or get rid of negative energy. So substitutions for the cinnamon for abundance, you can also use pumpkin seeds. You can use nutmeg. You can use star anise. You can use a variety of different things. You can use fruits like oranges, the peel of the orange, right? You can grind down the peel of the orange and use that. You can use apples. Apples are good for abundance. Okay, so there's a variety of different things you can use for abundance, and then for dispelling or getting rid of negative energy, you can use herbs like St. John's wort, especially if you are dealing with like mental health issues and things like that. You can smudge that or burn that or even drink that as a tea to get rid of any energy that is associated with, plaguing your mental health or bothering your mental health, right? So St. John's wort is good for that. You can use horsetail for boundaries. You can use clove for stopping gossip and protecting yourself from any negative energy that may try to come towards you. Of course, you can use bay leaf and different things like that. So there's a variety of different herbs that you can use for dispelling and use for manifesting abundance. Okay, so use one of those substitutions. Another question that came up is, what if I have carpet? If you have carpet and you want to lay your salt down and your cinnamon down and your casserilla, your brick dust and all of that, that is fine. You can just vacuum it up and then dump it outside. Okay, dump it outside of your home, especially if you are vacuuming up things that you are used for dispelling and getting rid of negative energy. And then for the abundance things, I would advise that you keep it down for 3 days. If you want to sweep it, you can sweep it, or you can vacuum it up and dump it if you want to. But for me, y'all, when it comes to my abundance stuff and my protection stuff, I keep my stuff down until I'm ready to cleanse, do my floor washes, and do it again. Okay, so I don't pick my stuff up. Okay, but if you decide that you want to pick it up, leave it for at least 3 days, vacuum it up and sweep it up or whatever you choose to, and dump it outside. Okay, but I would definitely advise keeping things going for abundance, all the time if possible. Okay, so always keep some cinnamon sticks burning. Always keep some orange peels and pine and things like that boiling on the stove. It's completely up to you, but especially for abundant stuff, keep those things in full circulation. And then for the dispelling things, you want to keep your thresholds protected. So keep that casserilla there, keep that salt there, keep that brick dust there, and then if you want to get rid of it, vacuum it up, dump it outside. That's completely up to you. Another frequently asked question I got was centered around like living with other people who may not be into hoodoo practices for a variety of reasons, right? So you kind of have to keep your practice very sacred. Listen, that is okay, and that's completely understandable. If you can only do your practices, meaning like do your floor washes and, protect your thresholds and do your abundance rituals and all that stuff in your room, just do it in your room. That's completely fine. You'll be protected from any and all negative energy, including energy that is coming from other people in the house with you. Okay, so don't be surprised if people try to approach the threshold of your room and they just don't feel comfortable, so they only stay at the door. That is okay. You are being protected from any type of negative energy, gossip, or anything they may try to bring to you inside of your sacred space. So if you live with other folks who don't believe in what you do or don't like what you do, that's fine. You can still do what you do, but just do it in private, which is how we should be practicing anyway. Hoodoo is not a practice that is meant to be out loud and everywhere. And when I say out loud, I mean like you're telling people specifically the sacred things that you are doing in your home for your wellness and your spiritual practices and your workings. Okay, it's meant to be kept like private and sacred, and you're not really necessarily supposed to be showing your workings publicly like that anyway, especially when you are dealing with folks who you don't know their intentions, or you don't know what they may try to do or want to do. And not to say that they have any power over you and that they can do anything to you, but just for your wellness and your own protection, it's best to keep your working sacred. And the last question I'll answer, which is also a very common question, is how do I learn more about hoodoo, right? A lot of folks want to know, like, what books do you recommend? How do I learn more? Number one, I'm always going to tell you, get elders in the hoodoo practice that have been doing this for a while, elders who can teach you some information and are willing to teach you some information, but are wellness centered. Okay, so it's best to learn from some elders. Now, as far as books that I can recommend, I'm just going to say this: with any book, there are pros and cons. No book is perfect. It's always coming from the perspective and the experience of that author. But I will say there are some books that I really like. There are some books that I don't agree with. Okay. The first book that I'll recommend is Working the Root by Michelle. I think her name is Michelle Lee. Hold on, let me get the book. I'll show you. Okay, I got it. So the book is Working the Roots by Michelle Lee, and this is a good book. She basically talks to a variety of different elders from all over the Gullah Geechee coast, as well as some in the Gulf Coast region as well. And they are telling their stories and sharing some of their remedies and recipes and things like that, dealing in root work. And she also incorporates some African traditional religion, because hoodoo also involves practices from African traditional religion. And, there's a whole history and background of hoodoo and the foundation of hoodoo that really occurred from our ancestors ancestors who were enslaved from the continent of Africa, and they brought over their natural practices that they were already doing at home, and they kind of incorporated it in the religion that was forced upon them during enslavement, right? Which is Christianity. So she explores some of the African traditional religions that it comes from, and mainly because some of the practitioners and root workers that she's talking to in this book are actually initiated into ATRs, like Yeye Louisa Tish, which brings me to my next recommendation. My next recommendation of a good book to learn not necessarily about hoodoo, but more or less Louisiana voodoo, right? Which some folks kind of mend the two together, right? Louisiana voodoo and hoodoo, but really they are somewhat differences. There are a lot of similarities, many similarities, but some differences. So overall, if you want to learn more about like root work, Louisiana voodoo, and also some ATRs, this is Jambalaya, which is by Yeye Louisa Tish, who is also in this book. Okay, so Yeye Louisa Tish is an Oshun priestess, and so she talks a lot about Lukumi practices in here, but as well as other ATRs, and then again some Louisiana voodoo, her upbringing, and she gives like different herbs and things like that in this book as well. And the last book that I'll recommend is called Hoodoo Flowers. Okay, Hoodoo Flowers, and this book is by Arthur Ricky Doc Flowers. Okay, y'all, I'm not good at remembering authors, but I be trying. Okay, Ricky Doc Flowers, and this book is a pretty good read as well. Okay, so I'll recommend this one too. Okay, but again, all books have their pros and cons. There are some information that I agree with and some I don't, but these are like some good starters. Okay, I hope all of this helps y'all. Much love. Peace.